Hello, Pastor Doug, back again with another Bible brief. Today I want to take a look at Numbers 23:22. And has an atheist ever come to you and said, "You know there are unicorns in the Bible, don't you?" Yes, the Bible teaches there are unicorns. Is that true? Not really, depending on what version of the Bible you're reading. If you go to the old King James Version, which is a beautiful translation of the Bible, and you go to Numbers 23:22, we read, God brought them out of Egypt. He hath, as it were, the strength of a unicorn. And when you read through the King James Version, you'll hear references to a unicorn. Why is that? Well, we got to trip through some languages here. The Old Testament is originally, of course, in Hebrew, but one of the earliest translations of the Old Testament was into Greek, and that's called the Septuagint, or the LXX. And if you go read the Greek version of this verse, Numbers 23:22, we read this reference to a single-horned animal, mono-horned. And if you go read the translation that's going to follow next, the Latin, called the Vulgate, you'll notice it says something that you'll notice in English. Nose horn, where we get our word rhinoceros. And so when you get to the King James Version in the 17th century, you have these references to this one-horned, nose-horned creature in the tradition of the text. And of course, in 17th century science, unicorns obviously existed. I mean, everyone knows that in the 17th century. So they went with the best word they could think of and went with unicorn. However, if you read the original Hebrew, it doesn't say one horn. It says wild oxen. And that's why modern translations translate this verse as, God brings them out of Egypt. He is for them like the horns of a wild ox. And this probably refers to some animal called the aurochs. It's an extinct form of early cattle. So there are no unicorns in the Bible, but it is interesting to see how things can creep in as we go from different language to different language as the Bible gets translated. And it's always important to go back to the original. Remember that great statement of the Reformation, ad fontes, back to the source. So, are there unicorns in the Bible? No. But it is interesting to see how that word snuck in to the King James. Well, I hope that helps. As always, Christ's grace and peace to you all. Amen.